Hi and welcome to formatclick.com. This site was developed to potentially help you in pay-per-click and search engine optimization marketing. I'm just going to go over the tools contained in the site. Essentially there are four main tools: the Misspeller, the permutator, the switcher and the swapper. So let's just go through each one of those in turn, starting with the Misspeller. There are several functions potentially you can do with this thing, but let's just start with the basic one, and that is you might have a list of phrases. So for example, we might have SEO and SEM, pay-per-click and real estate, dogs and cats. So essentially we've got a list of keyword phrases. Now one of the things we may wish to do here is do some swapping out of some of the words. So we might need an alternative to a word. So for example, we might have SEO and we might also use the term search, and we might see dogs, and we might say we're going to replace that with hounds. So you see what I've done is put the word followed by a colon followed by the alternative term and here, and we can do several of those. And now what will happen when we go and we press submit, we will now see the original phrases that we had, but we'll also see the phrases with the new words swapped in there. So you can see here we had dogs and cats, now we've got hounds and cats, and we had SEO and SEM, and now we've got search and SEM. So what you might also find is you might want to put in some spelling errors. So you might think, well, maybe people put, instead of SEO, they might put SEP. So we could put in SEO and SEP, and you could do that for several other terms and then press submit again, and then you'll find the original terms, but also where we had SEO we now have SEP, and if there were several terms then it would be replaced in several places. The other thing you can do with this tool is to add brackets and quotes. So for example, if I were just to select those two boxes there and then press submit, you'll now see all the terms, and we've also got the same terms with square brackets and the same terms with quotes. And again, that could be useful to you in your pay-per-click campaign. I'm just going to click alphabetic order, and then we'll see the phrases in alphabetic order. Now you would do that actually before you added the brackets and the quotes. So let's just do that again and press submit, and there we'll see the information again with the brackets and the quotes. The other thing that you can do on this page is you can click this button here which says max cost per click. If we click that, we then get our terms, and we could put in, for example, 5 cents, and then press submit, and what the program will do is add all those phrases, but it will add after them the double asterisk and the amount of money. So you could then just highlight this this area here and copy that, and perhaps use that in the Bing Ad Center for instance. So that's the first tool. So let's now move on to the permutator, and let's just get rid of these brackets and so on. And what the permutator does is it goes through and works out permutations of different phrases. So I'm just going to click permutate and you'll see what I mean. So you'll see we had dogs and cats, now we've got dogs, cats and dogs, cats, and cats, dogs, and so on, with all the different phrases there. And if you wanted to then go back to the Misspeller, the words will go back to the Misspeller, and then you could go through and decide that you want to add the brackets, for instance, and then you get the same phrases, but also with the same phrases in brackets afterwards. So that's the Misspeller and the permutator. Let's now look at the switcher, and what I'm going to do is just go back and just remove some of these terms just to make it a little bit simpler. So let's just start with dogs and cats, and let's click on the switch button and see what happens. So what the switch does, it actually looks at the terms and looks at the keyboard and finds the letters that are next to the letters that have been typed. So for example, dogs and cats, you'll see in the second line it says dogs and CSTS, and what it's done is notice that on a QWERTY keyboard the S character is next to the A character, so it's replaced the A with an S. So this is simulating someone mistyping words. So for example, the next one, dogs and cars, what it's done, instead of the T, it's replaced that with an R. And in the next one, the T has got a R to the left of it, a Y to the next of it, so it's dog and K's. And what we basically do is go through and for each letter we do that replacement, but we do not change the first letter. So you can see in all of these various combinations, the D, A and C all stay the same there, but the other letters are replaced to give you all the different combinations of how someone could possibly maybe mistype these words if they were to type a key to the right or left of the letter key. Bear in mind that some letters, for example A, only have a character to the right of them, S and Q and Z and P, L and M and so on. We don't replace them with the punctuation marks in those cases. So let's go back and now go to Swapper, and what I'm going to do is just get rid of the things we created in the switcher, and let's just click on Swapper, and we'll see what we get. Now what this one does is it looks at changing some of the, transposing some of the letters within a word. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but many times when I'm typing a word, I will for some reason just swap two of the characters in the word, and if you look at the results here, you'll see that that's what we've done. So for example, dogs and cats, dogs and CT, the A and the T are transposed. The next one, the S and the T are transposed. The next one, the D and the N are transposed in and. And what the program does is just goes through all the different ways that that two letters could be transposed to try and find most of the ways that someone could potentially mistype a word as they're putting it in. For example, when they're doing a search. Again, if you wanted to transfer that information into the Misspeller, you'll see that it automatically